Hello students, in today's video we will be seeing about the Mauryan administration. The Mauryans established efficient system of administration. So till now we have learned about the origin of Mauryas and we have learned about Chandragupta Maurya and Ashoka. Now when we come to Mauryan administration, the Mauryans established a very efficient system of administration. They were the first to establish a uniform administrative system throughout the empire. So the Mauryans established a uniform administrative system, that is, throughout the empire, everywhere in the empire, the administration was uniform or it was the same. Arthashastra played an important role in the administration of Mauryas. So Arthashastra, written by Kautilya or Chanakya, this book played a very important role in the administration of Mauryas. We have already studied how Chanakya helped Chandragupta Maurya in administration. We have also learned about how Arthashastra tells about the 7 limbs or Saptanga of the state. So Arthashastra gives a lot of information regarding administration, and this book played a very important role in the administration of Mauryas. Now let us see in detail about the Mauryan administration. So first let us see about the central government. So in the central government, the most important role is played by the king. So it was a centralized administration, and in the administration, king played a very important role. He was the head of the state. The king was the head of the state, and he had legislative, executive, judicial and military powers. So all these powers were vested in the hands of the king. King had legislative, executive, judicial and military powers. He was bound by dharma. The king was bound by the aspect of dharma. His main duty was to work for the welfare of the people. The main duty of the king was to work for the welfare of the people. So Mauryas established an efficient system of administration. They were the first to establish uniform administrative system throughout the empire, and Arthashastra, written by Kautilya, played an important role in the administration of Mauryas. Now the Mauryan government, first we have to learn about the central government. King was the head of the state, and king had legislative, executive, judicial and military powers. He was bound by dharma, and his main duty was to work for the welfare of the people. Now after the king, the next part in administration is Mantri Parishad. Council of Ministers. Council of Ministers was called as Mantri Parishad during Mauryan time. Council of Ministers assisted the king in administration. So the king was helped by a group of ministers. These group of ministers was called as Mantri Parishad, and they helped the king in administration. Ministers were appointed by the king. The appointment of the ministers was done by the king. Number of ministers varied from 4 to 12. The ministers, there were 4 to 12 ministers in Mauryan administration, and each minister was in charge of one or more departments. All matters were discussed in the Mantri Parishad, and the king could supersede the advice of Mantri Parishad. That is, final authority was the king. If king wants to accept or reject, he can accept or reject the decisions of Mantri Parishad. So king was helped in administration by a council of ministers. They were called as Mantri Parishad. The ministers were appointed by the king. The number of ministers varied from 4 to 12, and each minister was in charge of one or more departments. All matters were discussed in the Mantri Parishad. All matters regarding every department. See, different departments like agriculture department, or tax department, education department, so many departments were there, and all matters were discussed. The king could supersede the advice of Mantri Parishad. King was the final authority. Now the next part of Mauryan administration is the secretariat. Administrative matters of central government was divided into 30 departments. So just in the last topic we have learned that there were ministers in charge of different departments. So what were the departments? The administrative matters of central government, they were divided into 30 departments. Each department was under a superintendent. So 30 departments were there and each department was under a superintendent. They dealt with activities such as irrigation, market, education, etc. So after the Mantri Parishad, we have Secretariat. The administrative matters of central government was divided in 30 departments. Each department was under a superintendent and they dealt with activities such as irrigation, market, education, etc. Next is administration of justice. So first we learned about in central government, first we learned about king, then king had a council of ministers to help him. Then we learned about the 30 departments, that is in secretariat, 30 departments under superintendent. Next is administration of justice. King was the highest court of appeal. We already know that it was a centralized administration. So the final authority and highest court of appeal, everything is the king. So king was the highest court of appeal. Mauryan Empire had two types of courts. Now this is a very important point. The Mauryan Empire had two different types of courts. The first one, Dharmastheya, which dealt with civil cases, and the second one, Kantaka Shodhana, which dealt with criminal cases. So the two types of courts which existed during Mauryan period was Dharmastheya, dealing with civil cases, and Kantaka Shodhana, dealing with criminal cases. The courts existed in all towns and cities. All towns and cities had their own courts. Village assemblies had its own headman, that is headman of village was responsible for the justice in their areas. So village headman was responsible for dealing with justice in their areas. Megasthenes observed that punishment was severe, which included beheading and amputation of limbs. So Megasthenes, who was a Greek ambassador, in his book Indica says about the punishments during Mauryan period. He says that punishments were very severe during this time, which included beheading and amputation of limbs. These were the kinds of punishments given for different crimes. So in administration of justice, king was the highest court of appeal. Mauryan Empire had two types of court. One is Dharmastheya, dealing with civil cases. Next is Kantaka Shodhana, dealing with criminal cases. The courts existed in all towns and cities, and the headman of village was responsible for justice in their areas. Megasthenes observed that punishments were severe, which included beheading and amputation of limbs. Next, let us see about revenue administration. Land revenue was the main source of income. So, in revenue administration, land revenue was the main source of income for the state. 1/6 of the produce was fixed as the tax. So, land revenue was the main source of income, and 1/6 of the produce was taken as tax. Tax was collected both in cash and kind. Two types of collecting taxes were there. Either it was collected in cash or it was collected in kind, that is in the form of materials it was collected. They were collected by local officers. The taxes were collected by local officers. Taxes were levied on professions, houses, cattle, sales tax, etc. Different types of taxes were there, that is taxes on profession, houses, cattle, sales tax, etc. So in revenue administration, land revenue was a main source of income of the state, and 1/6 of the produce was fixed as tax. The taxes were collected both in cash and in kind, and they were collected by local officers. The taxes were levied on professions, houses, cattle, sales tax, etc. Now this much is what we saw about central government. In central government we saw king. King was helped by Mantri Parishad. Then we had a secretariat in which the administrative matters were divided into 30 departments. Then we saw administration of justice, in which two types of courts, that is Dharmasteya and Kantaka Shodhana, were there. Then we saw about revenue administration, in which land revenue was the main source and 1/6 of the produce was taken as tax. So this much were the points in central administration. Now let us move on to the provincial administration. Mauryan Empire was divided into 5 provinces. So let us see how the empire was divided. It was first divided into 5 provinces. These 5 provinces' capitals were Girnar, Takshashila, Ujjain, Toshali and Suvarnagiri. So the main capitals of these 5 provinces were Girnar, Takshashila, Ujjain, Toshali and Suvarnagiri. These were the capitals of 5 provinces. Each province was under the charge of a governor belonging to the royal family. So empire was first of all divided into 5 provinces. These provinces, each of these provinces was under the charge of a governor. And this governor belonged to the royal family, or he was one of the relatives of the king. So basically he belonged to royal family. Provinces were further divided into districts, which were governed by sthanikas. So 5 provinces were again divided into districts, and these districts were governed by sthanikas. Gramika was the head of the village. The head of village was called as Gramika. And the official in charge of 10 villages was called as Gopa. There was a group of 10 villages and there was one officer in charge of those 10 villages. He was called as Gopa. Ashoka appointed Dharma Mahamatras both at the center and in the provinces. So Ashoka appointed officers called as Dharma Mahamatra to take care of the spread of Dharma. These Dharma Mahamatras were appointed both at the center and in the provinces. So if we see the provincial administration, Mauryan Empire was divided into 5 provinces. Their capitals were Girnar, Takshashila, Ujjain, Toshali and Suvarnagiri. Each province was under the charge of a governor, and this governor belonged to royal family or was a relative of the king. The provinces were further divided into districts. Districts were governed by sthanikas. Gramika was the head of the village, and the officer in charge of 10 villages was called as Gopa. Ashoka appointed Dharma Mahamatras both at the center and in the provinces. Next, let us see about the city administration. Greek ambassador Megasthenes gave a detailed description about the administration of Patliputra. Now, as we have seen in the administration of justice, Megasthenes have already said about the severe punishments which were given during the Mauryan period. So, Megasthenes also gave a detailed description about the administration of Patliputra. From this, we get information about the city administration. Administration was entrusted to a committee of 30 members. So, city administration was entrusted to a committee, and the committee had 30 members. This committee was divided into 6 boards of 5 members each. So, there was 6 boards and each board have 5 members. So, total there was a 30-member committee, and they were taking care of the city administration. They looked after matters such as roads, markets, hospitals, temples, schools, etc. So each board will be in charge of one departments like roads, markets, hospitals, temples, etc. So Greek ambassador Megasthenes gave a detailed description about the administration of Patliputra. The administration was entrusted to a committee of 30 members. And this committee was divided into 6 boards, each containing 5 members. They looked after matters such as roads, markets, hospitals, temples, schools, etc. Now let us see about the military administration. Military administration of Chandragupta was very efficient and well organized. So Chandragupta had a very efficient and well organized military. King personally led the army during war. So it is said that the king himself personally led the army in times of war. Army of Chandragupta consisted of 6 lakh infantry, 30,000 cavalry and 9,000 elephants. So from these numbers you can understand that Chandragupta had a huge well organized army. His army consisted of 6 lakh infantry, 30,000 cavalry and 9,000 elephants. War office was administered by 6 boards each containing 5 members. So again the war office also was administered by 6 boards consisting of 5 members. Same like city administration, military administration also had 6 boards consisting of 5 members. They were navy, transport, infantry, cavalry, chariots and elephant force. So these 6 boards were navy, transport, infantry, cavalry, chariots and elephant force. These 6 boards were there, and in these boards 5 members, and they were taking care of the war office, the administration of the war office. So in military administration, Chandragupta had a well organized and efficient military. King personally led the army during war. Chandragupta's army consisted of 6 lakh infantry, 30,000 cavalry and 9,000 elephants. The war office was administered by 6 boards consisting of 5 members, and these 6 boards were navy, transportation, infantry, cavalry, chariots and elephant force. So in today's video we have seen in detail about the Mauryan administration. See, the Mauryan administration is one of its major contribution. So the Mauryan administration, first we learned about central government. In central government the king was there, who was helped by the Mantri Parishad. There was a secretariat in which 30 departments of administrative matters were divided. Then administration of justice, there were 2 main types of courts, Dharmastaya, Kantakashodhana, dealing with civil and criminal cases. Then we learned about revenue administration, in which land revenue was a main source and 1/6 was collected as tax. Then we moved on to the provincial administration. We saw how the empire was divided into provinces. Provinces were divided into districts, and then it was grama or villages. Then we saw about the city administration from Megasthenes' description about administration of Patliputra. In city administration we saw about a 30 member committee with 6 boards of 5 members. And finally we saw about the military administration, which was well organized and very efficient. And in that military administration also there were 6 boards. They were navy, transport, infantry, cavalry, chariots and elephant force. So I hope you have clearly understood all the points regarding Mauryan administration. This is a very important topic for your exams. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment section. And if you feel that this video has been helpful, please do subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends, and do ask them to subscribe. I hope to see you soon in the next video. Thank you for watching.